like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review for Love After Lockup Season 1. Where are they now? Okay, Season 2 starts next Friday. I am really excited. I was going to do like a recap of Season 1, but I be looking like that takes too much time, and I really don't like rewatching stuff that I already know what happened as far as TV shows go. So I was like, that's going to be a dead end right there. But I'm happy that WeTV did a Where Are They Now, so I can review that, then be started for Season 2. If you hear the fan, y'all know it's hot. You know, it's like 50 degrees here today, which makes it hotter in my apartment because they control the heat. Even though my heat is off, like I have it all the way down. My apartment just kind of stays warm, which is a great thing in the winter. But yeah, it's kind of stupid when it's warm outside. Anyway, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and become a whole J Bird. Hello to all my J Birds. I love you all. Do not forget to like, comment, and share this video. So also always hit that notification button to let you know when I have new videos up. And do not forget to shop my Teespring merchandise. The link below is in the link is in the description box. But there's also a Teespring shelf where you should be able to see my mugs, t-shirts, and hoodies. Okay, you will love them. So please shop. And if you want to send me a gift, yes, I have a P.O. box, and the P.O. box address is in the description box below, as well as listed on my IG bio page. Anyway, so let's get it started. Okay, so the first up we have Mary and Dominic. So Mary and Dominic they lived in Canada, okay? And now they met before he went to jail, okay? They met about a month before he went to jail. Well, a little over a month before he went to jail. And, she's like, they have been together. They've known each other for 7 years, okay? He spent 6 years in jail, okay? So she met him. For like the first month, they was always together, just inseparable, okay? Because that first month is all lovey-dovey-dovey. And then, he got into a fight at a bar. So he got arrested for the bar fight and was sent to prison for 6 years. So he got out at like 5 years. And then when he got out, the season showed her a little bit delusional, because she really felt like, okay, he's out of jail, so now we can go back to living our regular lives, we can go back to hanging out, being together all the time, and we can plan this wedding or whatever. And she was real delusional about how his life would be after being in prison. And he was just very cautious about everything, because they had because he was released to a halfway house. Not even release. And with a halfway house, you have to have permission to go A, B, C, D, E, F, or G places. And so when they was going somewhere, and she told him they was going one place and they went somewhere else, and then she took him to like a bridal store or a wedding tux and like wedding clothes shopping or whatever. Can't think what it is. He I didn't tell them I was coming here. You can't do this. And he was like, okay, let's get it done and leave, because I'm not supposed to be here. So he was just very cautious. So I swear through the whole season, I felt like they not going to stay together, because he never really seemed like he liked her. Like, he was very like, I don't know, I don't want to be here. No. Help me. He was real like this monotone, like just stiff. Just like, I don't know, just nothing was about him was like entertaining, So, but they ended up getting married at the end of the season. He did say, well, I don't want no big wedding, but if you want to, we can like have a little small summer, whatever, just to do it. And I'm looking like, well, it was just so weird. She, in the recap, admits that when she looked back, she realized that she really had these foolish ideas and these unrealistic ideas about how life would be with him being out, and or even about how free he would be just because he was out of prison. So even he said, I had my doubts marrying her. Like, I woke up that day thinking, like, can I really marry her and be with her forever? Like, can I forever deal with her bullshit? He's like, but you know what I'm saying? I love her and I want to be with her, so I married her. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up doing 6 months and a half because it ended with him just like first going to the halfway house and then them getting married. So he was in the halfway house for 6 months, and now they're currently living together. And like they got like a little apartment or whatever, a little house. And he like, she has stuff everywhere. She has a lot of stuff. Okay, so her stuff is always everywhere, and she's annoying. I'm like, he said verbatim, she's very high maintenance and she's very annoying. I said, well, damn, but do you love her? What's going on here? And he said he even watched the show back and he saw how people said like, oh, he's like an asshole. He said, I get that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of weird or whatever. Like, but I really do love her, and she said that she really does love him. Even though her face looks very weird to me because it looks like she had bad surgery. They are currently married and in love and living together, and he's still on parole or probation, so he can't like drink or whatever, but they are happy. I'm surprised. I really, and it's based on, it was him, and even how she was just like, we should get married, and he kind of just wasn't enthusiastic about it. But as he said, I do love her. I want to marry her. So that's why we're married now, and we together. And so we do see at the end of the whole thing, it say how they renewed their vows in front of family and friends. They had like a real wedding. Since he wasn't in the halfway house anymore. So I mean, but I think the reason theirs is different is because they knew each other before he went to jail. Even though it was only a month. It was only a month before he went to jail, but at least she didn't like meet him while he was in prison. Okay, so theirs made it worked. Next we have James and Alla. James found Alla on a prison dating website, not a pen pal website, a dating website. I'm like, why is there a prison? Who made the prison dating website, and what makes someone go to a prison dating website? I can understand the prison pen pal website because some people in prison don't have anybody to write them, and some people out here likes communicating with people, so I get that. But I mean, a prison dating, I'm like, that's just weird. So he found her on the website. He's like, she was beautiful, thought she should be a model because she was so gorgeous. She was in prison. Alla was in prison for, first of all, James' scene starts off with him shopping in a sex store. I'm like, why is you in a sex store, James? Get your big ass, your big eye ass out the goddamn sex store. This don't do it. Anyway, Alla was in prison for 5 years for possession and distribution of heroin. Alla was a drug addict. Alla was on heroin. She may have been, in possession of it and maybe gave it to someone else. However, she was also doing drugs. Okay, so she was in there for 5 years. And he met her while she was in prison. But they dated for 10 months. So it was 10 months worth of her time that they were a couple. So she got out, okay, and he was so happy she was out. Oh yeah, she's out. She's gonna be clean. We're gonna be together, whatever. Because she looks gorgeous. She looks gorgeous, and she's in prison, but she's not high anymore, so she must be great. God, how quickly things change. Shortly after her getting out of jail, coming to be with him in Chicago, she got back on drugs. Now he had tried all kind of stuff to get her kind of set up. He had got her set up with a job interview with a modeling agency, just different things. And she kept like I don't want to be a model. That's too much. She wants to be hot. Okay. Even his friend, like, bruh, you don't know her really. Even though you've been talking to her for 10 months while she was in prison, her being out was different. Like, it's gonna be some different things. And sure enough, when she started acting weird or whatever, and he like, I don't want she's acting weird. She then said how she thinks she may have been pregnant, but she then went and took a pregnancy test, like in the bathroom of a restaurant or maybe from a gas station. And when she came back and sat down, he said, what was the results? She got me like, why you want to know the results? He like, because it's a whole baby. Like, I would need to know the results. It was crazy. But And his friend said, I bet she's telling you she's acting weird and she's sick because she may be pregnant. Like, no, man, she's probably back on drugs. And he like, no, I don't think she's back. I think she's just like nervous or whatever. But no, she was wholeheartedly back on drugs. She was wholeheartedly high. Okay. To the point where at one point when he came home, he found her in his bathroom, like basically ODing off drugs. I'm like, Lord Jesus. So she went back to, well, she went to rehab, not to prison. She went to rehab or whatever. Um, and that's kind of what the season ended before. So he said she did go to rehab for however many months. She then came back out to Chicago to be with him. He kept trying to help her, whatever. He like, because all he wanted, he said, because he knew her, with her being a drug addict, it was an addiction and it would be hard for her to get over. He said, but he wanted her to be stable. Now come current time, he like, hey baby, come get the food. I'm like, oh, they together? It's a whole thing. Nope. He has a whole new girlfriend, a whole new girlfriend named Chelsea. Chelsea lives in Atlanta, okay, but she was visiting him in Chicago, so they have a long distance relationship or whatever. Alla's back in prison, so he says his story was she didn't report to her PO. And her PO then put a warrant out for arrest as an abscondee, meaning you or on papers or whatever, and you did not report, so you're absconded. And so she ended up getting arrested because she did not report to her PO. And, she's basically been in prison for the past 7 months. And she could get up to 2 years, but she also could be getting out in about 2 weeks. So he says how he and the girlfriend said how Alla basically stalks him. How she's always calling him from prison or calling him through third parties or calling him just or. But I'm like, why answer the phone? Like, a person from prison can't stalk you because if you don't answer the phone, they don't get through. You can also block a person from prison from calling you because you just block them and you keep blocking them. My thing is, I'm not answering the phone from prison for nobody if I don't know who it is, okay? You can't randomly call me from prison and not say your name because I'm not going to answer. Usually somebody, because I know people from prison, so I was like, he talking as if she's stalking him. You're allowing it to happen because you're answering the phone. You're hitting press 1 or was it 1 or 0, whatever number you press. You pressing the number for her to talk to you. You're stupid. You're basically paying for her to harass you, So we do see that while they're recording the confession stuff, she's calling. And she's yelling and cussing and fussing, whatever, talking about how, you use me, I'm your scapegoat, you a liar, you called my PO because you was mad because I was with some man who you didn't want me to be around. It was all this stuff, all this craziness. So his girlfriend is saying how, no, Alla's just obsessed with him. Like, she's completely obsessed. I've seen the letters she's written him. I've heard the phone calls. And she's really focused on him and she's crazy. And I'm like, well, we hear the phone call. And she do seem crazy. But she's saying how I didn't get arrested because I was high. I got arrested because he called my PO because I was hanging out with some guy. I thought to myself, you don't go back to jail for hanging out with some guy. Even if some guy was a felon, you have to be doing something with said guy. Like, it had to be something more than you hanging out with some guy he don't like. That ain't what it is. You was getting high. You probably failed a drug test. But I digress. But it was a crazy conversation because he like, I'll get the police report and now I'll show them that. And you want that to happen? She's like, whatever. And they're going back and she's kind of talking a lot towards him. She's saying to the producer, I love him. But, he's always using me. He wants to be back with me. But he does these crazy things. And I'm like, girl. But he also asked, like, I need to talk to her in private. I need to talk to her in private. I'm like, talk to her in private for what? So, she's just saying how, what did you tell them? He's like, I didn't tell them anything. And I'm like, well, yes, you did but, we're not about that. Anyway, they talk a little bit or whatnot, and she's like, fuck you, you're a bitch. I'm like, it was just crazy. Telling him all he cared about is himself. He's just, girl, it was seeming too much. And I'm like, I don't know. He then brings up how Alla does not know he's still dating Chelsea. And I'm looking like, it was a full mess. It was a full mess. However, she in prison, so it doesn't matter. And he's out. So we then found out at the end of their thing that he and Chelsea has broken up. How Alla is still in prison that she didn't get out. So theirs did not work out at all. And Alla ended up back in prison, within the first year of herself getting out. That's not good. Andrea and Lamar. Andrea and Lamar. I should just say this was last. Andrea, Lamar was in prison for 18 years for robbery, for armed robbery. And she met him on some prison dating site or some prison pimp outside or something on the prison thing. She did not know this man before. She also had 3 kids. She had 2 older kids that was maybe 12 and 14 or whatever. And then she had her youngest kid who was maybe 10 or 11 and maybe 8. She went on there. She's 7 or 8. And the youngest kid didn't know her father. She called Lamar daddy because that's how long her mom had been talking to him. And her mom was talking to him when she was born, when she was a newborn or whatever. Now, Andrea was also supposedly a Mormon in Utah, and she don't have sex, but you got 3 kids by 2 different men. Okay, if you say so. Anyway, so when he got out, it was crazy because again he did 18 years in prison, and they had been talking for 8 years or something like that, or 5 or 6 years they had been talking. I forgot how long. It was years though. They had been having a relationship where she would go visit him in the prison or whatever in California, and she lived in Utah. So he got out. He was on parole, and he was out in Cali. So she went to go pick him up from jail. Drove to California, picked him up in jail, spent maybe a week there with him, and then he was supposed to come back with her to Utah in another week to meet her kids because again they were engaged to be married supposedly or whatever. She had a whole bridal shower. Or it was crazy. When her friends found out he was in jail, they teased her. It was crazy. So, she ended up. He told her, I can't come to Utah, and I definitely can't move to Utah. I can't even come visit the kids in Utah. You and the kids are going to have to come visit me in Cali because of my parole. So her and the kids went up to Cali to visit him. The kids went up for the first time, whatever. The daughter didn't care too much about him. The son was whatever. It was crazy. He then told her the truth. Not only can I not visit you in Utah, I can't move to Utah. So, you and the kids gonna have to move up here. She's no, I'm not moving up there. I'm not moving my kids. I ain't doing that. Then she quickly changed her tune and said, you know what? I'll move to California with you, but you have to marry me before I move up here. I'm not gonna move up here and be, engaged. I'm gonna move up here and be your wife. Which I commend her for doing that. At least they can put a ring on it, a real ring or whatever. Anyway, so, what is... I hate when I get weird emails from Instagram oh, your content, something was blocked because of the songs you had. I'm looking what? It's stupid stuff I posted a long time ago. Instagram is stupid because I don't get how people be they don't want you to share stuff. If it's a preview for a new show, why would you not want people to share it so that people can see it? Why then put a copyright in Instagram? You suck ass. Anyway, I just seen that and I panicked. Okay, what was it? I panicked, but it was so I posted some shared TV show stuff. Anyway, so they got married. Okay, they got married. She moved there. So now it's a year later. She's been married and up there for a year. Production put up a thing okay, she said she can't record the update for personal reasons. So they go to her friends who are in Utah and they record them and ask them what's been going on for the past year. So it's her best friend who's a black girl and then these 3 other white women who was also really close friends. So the best friend, and something happened and Andrea isn't being honest and talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say what it is, but I need her to bring up what happened or whatever. So the friends, they FaceTime her. Now they bring up how Lamar was so great this, and you know what I'm saying, this and this and this or whatever. He was a gangbanger or whatnot. So they FaceTime her, and I'm like, first of all, it looked like when she answered that she was like hiding underneath a bed and like still on the phone. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, girl, what's going on? And then they hear like sirens in her background. They're like, girl, what's the sirens for? She's like, oh, I think somebody got shot. I heard some gunshots or whatever. They're like, gunshot, shot, what? And they're like, that's the crazy part. He can't even afford to have her in the great neighborhood. Like, she's not even in the good part of LA. She's in the ghetto part of LA where he could be out with his homies. And it was just weird because, white women saying, they're in the ghetto and with his homies. It sounded dumb. And they should have shut up, but whatever. But it was funny. So, they're like, well, where the kids at? Oh, they're in their room. And the rest, like, she's saying stuff, but she's not really being honest or whatever. And they're like, Andrea, what's going on? Like, where's Lamar? Oh, I just feel like a single mother right now. It's kind of crazy. And they're like, girl, what's going on? What's wrong? And then she starts crying a little bit. Since she's honest saying what really happened. And she's like, well, Lamar is back in jail. They're like, what? He's back in jail. What happened? Like, what happened? And she like, his family don't like her. The family don't. His family does not like her, and so she by herself with just her and the kids. And she brings up what happened. She said, and it was the weirdest. She explained it in a way to where she was trying to say it without indicating he did something wrong, because whatever the case may be, it must still be like being handled. So she said, he was riding around, he's not supposed to be in contact with anybody else who's been in prison or any of his gang-banging homies. And where it keeps saying gang-banging homies. She's like, but he was riding around in the wrong neighborhood, the wrong town, the wrong people. He was with a friend of his who's also on parole or on probation and a felon or whatever. And that friend had a gun on him and they was riding around. And, you know what I'm saying, the friend had the gun on him. They both was around each other. They both was on parole. And also, there was a hooker in the back seat. So I'm looking like, so two felons who are on probation, on parole, got a gun in the car with a hooker in the back seat. I'm looking like, but what happened? Like, did he shoot the hooker? Like, did someone get shot? Did he shoot the hooker? Did he rob? Like, I just don't know what happened. And what did the hooker in the back have to do with anything? Like, did they get pulled over by the police? Like, it was the weirdest. Like, you don't know what happened. You don't know, like, if they got pulled over, if the friend committed some kind of crime, if the hooker was undercover. We don't know what it was. But that's all she said was he was with his friend, who was also on probation. He not supposed to be around anybody else who's, like, a gangbanger or on probation or parole or a felon. And the person had a gun on him, and it was a hooker in the backseat. I'm looking like, that's just so much to figure out what the fuck it means. And that's all she said. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, lady, we need more information. So she brings up how, I love him and I do love him, but I want to be happy and I'm not really happy here. And I feel like if I was to come back to Utah, I would feel like a failure. And they're like, girl, the best friend said, girl, look, I'm tired of this. Bring your ass back to Utah. I'm tired of the craziness. I'm tired of whatever you're going through. You in the ghetto. You up there dodging bullets or whatever. The kids ain't happy. Bring your butt back to Utah. Don't worry about what anyone thinks of you. You gave it a try. And one other friend said, like, it's been a year, and in that year he is back in jail. He did not even. He knew he should not have been hanging out with so and so, and he did it anyway. Like, he don't even care enough about you to not do things, put himself in harm's way. And he got you up there by yourself in the ghetto. And I say, Lord Jesus. But it's true. It was all true tea. And so it's like, oh, well, Lamar called me. I got to call y'all back. I'm like, girl, forget that prison call. So we do see at the end of the show, it say how Lamar has been back in prison so far for 5 months. And, she's only in LA with her kids. So I'm like, clearly she ain't came back yet. And it could be thinking of she may not be able to afford to come back to Utah. Like, because who knows what she's doing in LA to make money. And, LA is expensive. Scott and Lizzie. So, Scott is an old white man. Lizzie is a younger but still older black woman, and he met her on a prison dating website again. So they have only seen each other 3 times. 3 times they've seen each other, and they've been dating for 3 years, and he's only seen her in prison. So the last time we seen them, she was in prison or whatever. He is now moved to Wisconsin because she's supposed to be getting out again. So Lizzie brings up how that she was online looking for basically for men to take care of her, and in the beginning that Scott was one of her tricks who was helping to take care of her. She said, but I ended up falling in love with him, and he was no longer a trick. And I say, that don't even sound right. So before she was supposed to get out before, but she never did. And he like went there to get her, and he got to the gates, and they said, well, no, we don't have her unless we getting out. So just turn back around because she's not gonna be paroled. Turns out the reason she did not get out was because she had a whole new charge. Why did she have a whole new charge? Well, because she got charged with possession of meth, heroin, and she also had a cell phone. I'm like, girl, what is going on here? I'm like, what? So he brings up how he could not believe it because he did not know her to be on drugs. He just knew that she was a drinker. Um, but she ended up having to do 18 more months. So now she's supposedly really getting parole. So he didn't move to Wisconsin. He has to buy a house, and he called her. No, she called him on the phone. And he like, yeah. She like, yeah. You need to get a 3 bedroom house so that it can be me, you, your son, and my daughter. Now her daughter is 19. She's not seen her daughter in 10 years. She's been locked up for 10 years. So her daughter's 19. She's not seen her daughter since she was for the past 10 years. But she wants her daughter to come live with them because she wants to be with her daughter. And I'm like, oh, it's just too much. And, I just don't know how it's going to work out. So they're going to be on the new season. Because again, she didn't get out before, so their story is carrying over to this season. So we later see him on the phone with his best friend Charlene, who happens to be black. And Charlene is everybody need a good black friend. Everybody need a good black friend that's like, you know what, you stupid. You're being real stupid right now. So because he bring up how in the 3 years that they've been dating, he spent over $90,000 on her. A person in prison don't need 90 grand. But I also feel like that means he probably was like, I think he was also doing like lawyer stuff. Like it was just 90 grand. And she's in prison. And when the friend heard that, she's like, I cannot believe, you know what? I cannot believe, that's just dumb. You said you're crazy. You need to tell her that you're broke and then see how she reacts. And if she wants to still be with you, knowing that you don't have any money, then, stay with her. But, I don't think she wants to, like, you don't know how your relationship would be without your finances being involved. He then says, he gonna have to let her know, Lizzie know that he basically spent all of his savings and he's in debt because he spent so much money on her because whatever she asked for, he would give her. I was like, you're stupid. You're stupid. So we have to wait for their story to continue on the new season of the show. Angela and Tony, they will also be on, I'm so thirsty, the new season. I don't think my water cold no more though. That's not cold. So, Angela is 46, Tony 33. They also met on a dating website for prisoners, and they have been dating for like a year and a half. So she says in the year and a half they've been talking, she has spent between $6,000 to $8,000 on him. That's how much she has sent him in the past year and a half. That's a lot for a prisoner, cause they don't need shit, bruh. They don't need shit. Just stupid. So because last season he was supposed to get out and he didn't, mainly because they said there wasn't any room at a halfway house. But if you say so. So she's still waiting on him to get out, and he's supposedly going to be getting out in the next couple of days or weeks or whatnot. So she is there looking at wedding venues, and oh my god. So because the person's like, oh, where's your fiance? But why isn't he, where is he? Oh, he does work for the feds because he's in federal prison. I say, girl, you know a lot real good, don't you? Anyway, so she's at this venue and she's having like a little food tasting or whatever, and he calls her because he wants to be there while she does the food tasting or whatever. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he can't see anything. It's a phone conversation. He can't even see the food. But anyway, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna have the waiter explain the stuff. I'm like, first of all, that's the chef. He's in a chef coat. That's the chef. He's not the waiter. Anyway. And she's like, oh, yes, a really, really good salad. You know what I'm saying? And then he like, I can't wait to see your sexy ass, baby. And I'm like, and if y'all have seen the show and y'all see him, y'all see her, y'all would know by him saying, I can't wait to see your sexy ass, which is kind of funny. But whatever, the chef explains like a little basic little salad. Oh yeah, Tony, are you ready to taste the salad? I'm like, he can't taste shit. He not there. He like, well, I want to taste shit. I'm looking like that's just nasty. Tony, don't do that. Anyway, he just said how he's horny because he's been in jail for 5 years. A person who's been in jail for 5 years, I just can't do it. Anyway, she brings up how she loves, sharing herself, and she can't wait to share herself with him. Meaning she's a free loving, she may be like a bit of a slut. Who knows? Anyway, not a slut, just she's free loving and sexual and whatever. He then said, I need you to put some money in my books because these cars ain't cheap. It's a better way to ask me that is what I would have said. But I always make sure that you're okay. When have I not, made sure that you're good? Oh, you always do. She's a whole sugar mama. Okay, she's a whole prison sugar mama. And then, she is still worried that when he gets out, he may not be as attentive or he may not need her or be as committed to her as he is when he locked up. So she do ask him, like, saying, do you have any other women sending you money? Here we go. Why do you think I have other women in my life? She said, no, I said, do you have other women sending you money? And then he said, of course not. There's no other woman in my life, whatever, just you. And I'm saying, I'm here. I want to commit my life to you and you only. Because he's in prison, he's saying all the great things that you want to hear. But, he like, I can't wait to marry her. Boy, bye. All the fuck way, bye. So again, their story continues on the season 2. Joanna and Garrett, last but not least. So she found him on a prison website, and they both younger. He had been in jail. Like it looked like he had charges for years being in and out of jail, but he was in jail this last time for like she was with him for 4 years of his time. He may have been in it for a little bit longer, but for the last 4 years of his sentence, she had met him and they were dating or whatever, and he was gonna come out, get out, marry her, and all these good things. So she went out and bought a house because she's like she knew with him being in prison for so long, he would not be able to go rent anywhere. So she bought them a house to live in. I said, Lord Jesus, a little starter home. So that whole thing, he did say when he came home, he felt lucky that he had her. Okay, he admitted that. You know what I'm saying? And he was happy that she had been there for him all those years. He brings up how he was very, very, very ready to have sex with her because he had been there for 5 years. They both talk about how their first sexual thing went because they had sex in the shower. She said she thought it'd be real sexy like and romantic like if they first time ever because she didn't know him before he went to prison. So the first time that she had sex with a stranger was in their new house in the shower. She said it was quick, but I'm like, what do you expect? He been in prison for 5 years. Anyway, they had all kind of issues while they were dating on season 1. She wanted him to buy her ring, get married, and be married. Is what she wanted him to do. She did not want him to do anything else with that. She wanted him to spend every waking moment with her. That's what she wanted. If he wanted to go out anywhere, she had a tracker on his phone. She would get mad if he went out anywhere without her, and it was crazy. Even when he went out and bought a used car so that he can like get around, she was mad. Like you could use that money to give me a ring. I'm like, well, who wants a wedding ring instead of a car so the man can get back and forth to a job? But you know what I'm saying? It was a lot. The tracker on his phone, so he would be out with his friends, and she would like track where he was, text him. It was crazy. It was so crazy on both of their parts. He wasn't going out much. Like the first time he went out, she was pissed. Like this man been in jail for 5 years. He went out once with like two of his friends or whatever, and she was pissed. It was crazy. But she would just text him without like over and I know you saw my text. It said read. It was crazy. It was crazy. She was very much so nagging this man. So you know what I'm saying? He said that he felt like she felt that he owed her. So whatever she wanted him to do, he should do. Okay, because she was there for him the whole time he was locked up. So I'm like, I kind of agree. He says, when he was locked up, she was his escape. I'm in prison, so she helped me escape the fact that I was in prison. And, while I was locked up, all she talked about was weddings and getting married. And for me, I was like, I was going to try to give her what she had been talking about for these 4 years, even if I wasn't really, really ready for it. She said she thought he wanted the same things too, because they had been talking about it while he was locked up. But again, the things a man will agree with you about while he's in prison don't transfer over into real life. It just doesn't. You should know that. Anyway, they did not get married on the show. Even though he planned a wedding for them and they was gonna get married on a beach with just them, she begged him to not let her go through with it, and so they didn't, because she then did not want to do what she had been asking him to do the whole time. It was crazy. He said from at that point when she said, "Don't make me marry you right now. I don't want this." He said for him, he knew at that point it was gonna be over. He said, "I just knew it," or whatever. But they did not break up. Okay. She said, we kept planning the wedding. We had bridal showers or whatever. We had all this stuff. We had picked bridesmaids and groomsmen or whatever. And it was pictures to prove they had been planning the wedding. It was pictures to prove it. And he was in every picture. So let's say that. Okay, you ain't shit, Garrett. But Garrett said he felt like he kept telling her, "I don't want to do this." And she wasn't listening. And she just kept pushing forward with stuff. Because I was there, I started saying, all right, he said, but I felt like it wasn't gonna work out. So he says how they had some kind of big arguments and they broke up. So currently he has a whole new girlfriend named Nelly, who we've all seen this happen on social media, because it was a big thing when the show ended last year. It was all over social media. He has a new girlfriend named Nelly, who he's still currently with now. He says they broke up because of the big fight. She ended up going out of town. And he said while she was out of town, he packed up all his stuff and left because they were over. He said about 2 weeks later, he was introduced to Nelly through a mutual friend, and they hit it off. He brings up how he said, "Me and Joanna only had sex 15 times total in the 6 months we were together after I got out of prison." He was like, so we had sex a total 15 times. I'm like, damn, that's how many times you can have sex in a week out of prison. And I'm like, that in 6 months, that was it. Okay, he said with him and Nelly, we didn't have sex. We had sex 20 times in the first week of us being together. He was like, saying, it was just something different. He said, it's not that I don't do relationships. I just have to be in one with somebody that I mesh well with. And me and Joanna, we weren't a good couple because they met in prison. They ain't know each other at all. And I feel like he knew that, but he had shit else. So he stayed where he was comfortable because he had shit else. And once he got himself to a point where I had a car, I had a job, and I was a little bit stable, and I was able to leave, I left because we couldn't make it work. I tried to make it work, and we couldn't make it work, and I'm out. I ain't saying any right, I ain't saying any wrong. I'm saying that's what happened. Anyway, he did say that me and Nelly moved quickly. We were together. We moved in together about a month or two later. So it was a really, really quick relationship. I'm like, okay. So they both bring up how, but he say me and Nelly, we match. I laugh with her. We have fun or whatever. We have a fun, happy relationship. I didn't have that with Joanna, and they didn't have that on the show. They did not. There was always argument. It was crazy. Joanna brings up how she did call and try to get him back because she saw 2 weeks after they broke up, it was some girl claiming him as her boyfriend, so she was mad. It's I did call them, try to get him back, whatever. Again, all this played out on social media. With her and the nutty girl beefing back and forth. Joanna put the girl mugshot out. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. So, Garrett said at the time when he and then they were together, I wasn't with her, so I don't know why she was so mad. We had broken up already, so it was crazy. And Joanna called Nelly a homewrecker. I don't think Nelly a homewrecker at all. I feel like Garrett was doing what he was doing dirt beforehand. He was ready to go. He was just waiting to go. I don't think Nelly had anything to do with that at all. Production asked him if he cheated on Joanna. He says, yeah, I did. I absolutely did. He said I cheated on her before I got out of prison. I said, you wait, wait, what you do? He says I slept with the lunch lady. So I did that before I got out of prison. So I did cheat on her doing that. He like, and then he like for the first 3 months I was out, I did not cheat. He said, but after that, I was cheating. He said I won't say who I cheated with, but I did. I wonder for real it was one of her friends because he didn't say it as if it was Nelly. He said it as if it was somebody. It would be kind of crazy if they knew what he did. But I digress. Both Garrett and Nelly both say Joanna acts like she wants them back. The way she was talking in the confessional, she did, but she didn't. Like I feel like she felt like when he first left that she wanted him back. I do think at that point she did. I think now maybe not so much. Joanna says how he tricked me. You know what I'm saying? He treated me so great while he was locked up, and then he got out, and everything changed. I said because that's prison people. That's you. You wasn't tricked. You were just too dumb to realize that's what men in prison do, or even women at that point. That's people in prison will use you for entertainment, for companionship or whatever, and you can't fall for the bullshit unless you with somebody before they go to jail. You can't meet someone in jail and listen to all their bullshit. You were just dumb. Like he didn't trick you. You just didn't know the game. Like I don't know what else to move it. So she said that she needed a whole new fresh start. So she moved to Texas. No one there knows what happened. They know. They may not know. They know. If they watch the show, they know. She said, because I did not want to be stuck in, Florida as that girl who was with that guy from jail. And, she said, I didn't want that to follow me. So, like, I'm here. It's a whole new life. I've changed my haircut. And I look different now. She don't, but she do. I'm saying she don't, but she do. But, yeah. And that was really it. So, Joanna's still single and Garrett's still with Nelly, and that's the whole thing. So, season 2 starts next Friday. I will be reviewing it. I hope y'all like this. I did not know before 10 minutes. So enjoy. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay's Corner. Peace.
He's like love, 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 and music.